April 22nd. It's a little bit cloudy, still a little chilly in northern Michigan. Spring is slowly coming this year, but we are making the hour trek south to Grand Haven at Barrett Boat Works, and we will be spending the night on Andromeda tonight. So it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and our daughter and her friend are driving us down to Grand Haven, about an hour south. And Kathy and I will stay on board. We'll get the beds made and whip her back into shape as best we can for tonight. And early tomorrow morning, about 7 a.m., we'll depart. Been watching the wind forecast, and we got a nice offshore breeze most of the morning. So we'll make a nice run up the coast and hopefully enjoy an east wind, which usually means low waves. So that's the plan. We're excited to get down there, and we're excited to get back on board. It's been too long.
I'm happy.
What are you doing back there?
Bungee strapping our mattress, our sheets, because it's not a very perfectly shaped mattress. So we chose the Amazon route of bedding, which works just fine. Actually, I'll show you. You get these little strap things, and then we just hook them on. When we looked up buying regular bedding that fits this rectangle octagon shape, they were hundreds of dollars. We're too cheap for that. We'd rather buy rum.
So these are our mattress suspenders that help us hold regular bed sheets tight to the weird mattress. This here is to tighten everything, which we don't need to do quite yet. Well, there you go. Maybe we do. But that little system, I'm going to drop the mattress down. Takes a regular sheet, makes it fit that weird diamond mattress, and saves us, what, about $700 in bedding?
Yeah, because then we just use a regular comforter. What, a queen size, I think, or double or a queen?
I think it's a king, but maybe it's a queen, whatever. But now we can put our regular top sheet and blankets on, and you never know the difference.
Right.
So we're getting reacclimated here. The boat's all powered up. It's on shore power. But the house batteries are at 95%, and they are charging. We did solve the alternator ramping issue. Got the heaters running. They're pumping water. We're bringing the boat up slowly up to temp. Not for any reason other than the boat just comes up slowly, especially because it's 50 degrees out. But This is what we have. All of our stuff is spread out everywhere. That's just springtime in northern Michigan when the boat's been put away and been under work. And we're getting it sorted out. We don't have really anything on board. Fridge is empty. We brought some food and some water for our trip in the morning. And of course some coffee for when we wake up. But other than that, we're hooked to the city water. And kind of getting the all clear from Kathy that the bed is done.
De-damp rating.
Wow,
That's just from your closet.
that's the damp red system we use in the winter to suck up the moisture.
And actually all year round. We've learned to use it all year round.
So there's the bed all made, at least for tonight. And we are about to head out and get some dinner. We're going to walk across the street to the Holiday Inn, hope their restaurant's open. And then it's lights out and away we go in the morning. Just like Lupin, we're going to walk into town across a freeway and who knows what, unless we want to get an Uber.
No, we don't need an Uber.
All right, here we go.
Watch the hoses.
Watch the hoses.
They're muddy.
Yeah, here's spring and
Mud rain. We had a mud rain. That's what
in
it was.
northern Michigan. We did have a mud rain, which is absolutely incredible. We left the paddle boards blown up on the bow all winter. It was stored inside, but and there's our beautiful gold flag. But now it's time to eat.
It's time to clean the boat.
It's time to clean the boat. Good morning. We spent the night on Andromeda down here in Grand Haven, and it was absolutely awesome. I actually didn't sleep much because I was kind of excited to get up this morning and get underway. So we're taking it slow. We got to remember all of our engine checks and make sure we do everything right. It's only been 4 or 5 months, but maybe a little longer, but how quickly you forget everything. So I'm heading down into the engine room now to check the fluids and do sort of the pre-flight checklist before I start up the engines. That's a little disappointing. The guys at Barrett's kind of left a little bit of a mess in the engine room, but I know they were working right down to the wire last night, so no big deal. It's just a couple of rags and a few boxes. I was kind of expecting it anyway, but they could have picked that up for us. Okay, starboard engine just stalled out on us. Well, that's part of the shakedown, I guess, every year. Both engines started right up and sounded good. And as soon as I started the port engine, the starboard dropped RPMs and stalled out. And now I can't get the starboard engine started. It almost sounds like it doesn't have fuel or something. I've checked everything. I am still at Barrett Boat Works. It is 7 or a little after 7. I don't think they get here till 8, but I'm gonna wander up and see if I can find a tech or somebody. But that's how it goes. That's why we got started early, just in case something like this happened. Well, an hour later, it's almost 8 o'clock now, and luckily we ran into the nicest tech. Rob was into work early. He hadn't even been part of our project, and he asked what was wrong. We told him it wouldn't start, and sort of as suspected, the fuel filter was only about half full, and it needs to be topped right off. It's a gravity system. Somehow we still had a gallon of diesel on board, so Rob hopped right on board, filled up the filter. We've been running for about 15 minutes now. We're going to let it warm up, but right now we're going to get the lines ready. And Mike and Ben and Charlie, the techs and the service manager that worked on the boat, should be here any minute. So before we pull out, I'm just going to check with them, but we're going to get the lines ready and get her prepped to go now.
Dry?
Dry. Charlie and Mike just left the boat. We checked the fuel filter again. It did run down a little bit, so we don't know if there was an air bubble or something from all the work, but it's running. It's very calm and very flat, so we're gonna give her a run. If we're close and something happens, we'll come back. If we need to get to Ludington on 1, we can, but seems to be running okay at the moment. So here we go. because we have the props retuned, I am slowly bumping Andromeda up 50 RPM every couple minutes, and I am recording the fuel burn and the miles per hour and the knots to compare them to the data we had before we retuned the props. It's also something Ed Hislop wanted to see, so that's sort of our project here this morning, and it's a good way to sort of break in the engines after the repair. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go get a blanket.
It's a little chilly on the
Maybe
bridge.
another layer.
Yeah,
It's a little chilly.
not quite summer yet.
No, but it's what, April 23rd, so it should be a little warmer. But they said it's full sun this morning, and as no pan around, there is no sun.
Go get your blanket.
Yeah, I'm not bitter.
Happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here. It's a long winter.
So I have finished all my fuel burns. We ran the boat from 600 RPMs, which is idle, all the way up to 2400 RPMs, which is top speed. I took some pictures of the screens. We do seem to have about, when it gets up to the higher RPMs, the gallons per hour on the starboard engine is more. That may be something to do with reprogramming the ECM, but minor problem. She ran great through all the RPMs, so far so good. We're just south of Little Point Sauble, which is kind of the turn in towards Ludington. We have to go out and around the point. And we ran the boat up through all the different RPMs, and she did great. There's a few RPMs where it didn't sound good, but that's how it was before. But we do have newly tuned props, so the props have a different pitch and cut than they used to. So we ran it every 50 RPMs all the way up to top speed, and she was clipping along pretty good. I think at top speed she was doing 33 miles per hour over the water, which is pretty fast. So we're happy with that. We're gonna bring her back up on plane here and set some waypoints and just cruise our way around the point, start heading in towards Ludington. We are just coming up on Little Point Sauble. We have gone down and turned on the generator to get some heat up here in the bridge because, well, it's just chilly. It's spring in northern Michigan and we're out on the lake, and we were trying to run without it, but it just got a little too cold up here. So we're just about to round Little Point Sauble and past the Little Point Sauble Lighthouse, which is kind of a beautiful brick lighthouse. It's very cool, and it's sort of iconic for us because as we come up from the south, we turn around that lighthouse or turn around that point and head a little northeast in towards Ludington. So we'll get past the lighthouse here. We should be able to start seeing the Pentwater pierheads and then eventually the Ludington lighthouse, and be that much closer to home. Well, we're about 40 minutes out of Ludington, and
How's it feel today to be back on the boat?
Feels good.
It's kind of neat for us because I know I was bummed. We were both pretty bummed after the loop. It's like so exciting, and there's kind of this letdown period where, okay, now what? But to be able to go down last night, get dropped off, spend the night on the boat, go out to dinner, then kind of leave early this morning, it brought back a lot of memories.
Right, be without a car and walk to dinner, and
Yeah.
it was nice.
It was cool. We are about 20 minutes out of Ludington. We can see the Ludington Pierhead Lighthouse, and it's not a big deal just to bring the boat home for the season, but for some reason it feels really cool just to see our lighthouse and our home port, and know she'll be tied up soon, and we can start doing our summer boat projects and getting her ready to go this fall. So about 20 minutes to the pierheads, and then make our way down the channel and tie her up for the first time this year, which is always interesting because the lines aren't on the docks and our bumpers aren't out on the docks. So we'll get in there again if we have to bounce her in. All tied up at our home dock here in Ludington, and gonna go home and grab a bite to eat and get back to the real world for a minute, and then come down and get her tied up and cleaned up and everything for summer. So
Start the detail process.
yeah, good to be. The summer boating season has officially begun just now.
We would like to say a very special thank you to our Captain's Table patron, Tom M. And as always, a huge thank you to all our patrons. We couldn't do this without you.